Hi guys, I'm gonna tell the school board lie that my avoidant told me. Get ready for this shit, okay? So I was dating the avoidant for about 10 months, and we decided, hey, let's move in together. Which I know that they are habitual line steppers and skip steppers, and they like to move the relationship along. Like 4 months in, she was talking about marrying me. Like I honestly thought this was going somewhere. Anywho, she lived in my county, but she lived in a fancier part of the county that went to a fancier school. Now, like my county, all of the schools are good. They're all top in the state, but they're like $4 million homes, like where she lived. Like she didn't have a $4 million home. She didn't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. But she moved to my house, right? I'm in a different part of the county. I live by all of the schools in my town. I'm like, this is great. Like, you could send your kids to all the schools here. She's like, I want to continue to send my kids to the school there. And I'm like, okay, how are you going to do this? You're moving in with me. Like, you don't live in that county anymore. And she's like, oh, well, I'm going to either use my mom's address or I'm going to use my ex-husband. My ex-husband still lives in that town. And at the time, like, I'm in the honeymoon phase of this relationship. I'm like, okay, that checks out. So she moves in, the relationship goes on. Now, like, if you were to drive from where I live to where that school is at like 3 o'clock in the morning, it's like an 8-10 minute drive. If you go during any of the rush hours, it's a half hour, 45-minute drive because you're driving across the county. So she used to kvetch to me all the time about having to, pick up her kids, drop off her kids at this school. And she wanted me to buy her a house in the town where this school is. Now, here's the thing: like I have like a 2.5% mortgage rate. Like I'm dying in this house. Like we're never seeing that mortgage rate ever again. So, and she also had no money. Like I would literally be buying another house in a town that's not by my children, does nothing for me, and I would be putting somebody else's name on that house. Financially, it just made no sense. So, we're going along in the relationship, and there is just nothing like herniating discs in your back to quickly snap you out of a honeymoon phase of the relationship. So I herniated a disc in my back, and so, like, let's say she moved in like July. Around December, like, a lot of her stories started not making sense. Like, with all avoidance, like eventually it's a house of cards, and if you actually look at the cards, like the lies are paper thin like a card. So all of my friends in education, like this entire time, have been telling me, like, the whole like using the mom's address, like, it's kind of illegal, and also the fact, even if she's going with, like, oh, the ex-husband lives in the town, like that doesn't track. Like there's more to it than that. So after I hurt my back, I called the school district. Now, before this, she had told me her ex-husband checked this out and said it was fine for them to do this. And I'm like, why is he helping you out? That doesn't make sense. You guys don't have a good relationship. So I call the school board. I get the secretary of the superintendent. Now, anybody who's ever worked in an office, they know that secretaries are the straws that stir the drink. Like, they know, like, they're the ones who know. They know the rules. They're the ones on the phone all day talking about the rules. So I knew I got somebody who knew what they were doing. So I said, hey, I got these 3 kids. I live in this town. They go to school in this town, but their dad lives in this town. And she comes back to me with, they have to go to school where they spend 80% of their nights a month. And I'm like, oh, no, that's not the case. They're 90% of the time with me, right, in my house. They're not with their. I saw these kids more than their own father saw these kids. So I'm like, okay, that's totally different than what I was told. And so I said, okay, so what if I wanted to send these kids to school, but they stayed here, yada, yada, yada. Wait for the punchline on this. All right, wait for the punchline. I would have to pay tuition. I would, because if I married her, she had no fucking money. He wasn't going to pay for it. If I had married, I would have paid this. I would have had to pay tuition to send 3 kids to public school, right? 3 kids to public school. I'm like, okay, what is tuition? Wait for it, folks. Wait for it. $16,000 per year per kid. $48,000 a year to send kids who are not mine to a public school. So I thank her for the, I thank the secretary for the information. I go and I confront the avoidant on this, and I say, hey, like, everything that you said over here, what was said over here was completely different. And in true avoidant narcissistic fashion, it wasn't like, oh wow, this is new information, or like, you caught me. It was, oh my God, you don't trust me. How dare you go behind my back, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, but you realize $48,000 per year to send your kids to public school. Like, I'm not doing that. Like, we shouldn't do that. Like, we should be sending the kids legally to the my town. Needless to say, a couple months later, we broke up. I'm gonna post that story because that's a hilarious story as well. But let me know if your wildest avoidant lie. Follow for more cool stuff at the store.